Alright, this is the second time I'm recording this. My camera literally died and I lost the whole video. Okay, back here might a little bit messy, but this is where I'm gonna have all the stuff so I can show y'all. I'm gonna show you how to create a scent bubble. So what the scent bubble does is what it's what it sounds like. You might think it's a big deal, but if you do it right, your cologne or your fragrance will last longer, project louder. What I mean by the base is your shower routine, basically your body wash, your body scrubs. Then the next would be your moisturizer. To get that base down, after that you want to use your fragrance as the head, like the header or the guide of what you're trying to smell like for that occasion that you're going. Okay, so now I'm going to what I personally use. For my body wash, it would be Method Coconut Rice Milk Shea Butter. Now this smells very sweet, creamy, buttery, and like a tropical coconutty type smell. The scent profile of this, that's pretty much the colognes I wear. They're pretty sweet, creamy, tropical. Except for the shower routine, I use a body scrub. Now, as you can see, right, this is a coconut. It is a coconut butter type of brown sugar sweet type of scent profile, which matches these two match really well because it's like a coconut buttery, sweet, creamy smell. Combines well and are not fighting against each other to make some weird funky smell. Also, this would not be including like the shower exfoliators, all that extra shower stuff. It would not be. This is basically what you would put on a daily basis. My favorite moisturizer that matches with that, it complements well, would be a coconut. Would be this one, the Shea Moisture, the Daily Body Oil. Once again, coconut. Like I said, coconut milk with I can't read that. I'm probably gonna butcher that, so I'm not gonna read it. Once again, complements and meshes well together. We'll give you some alternatives. You could go for the EOS Vanilla Cashmere, or you could go for this Coconut Wafer EOS. Or if you're really like a health freak and you don't like all this fragrance heavy, like artificial chemicals, you could just go for a fresh, what's it called? You go for like a fragrance-free moisturizer. They're right there. I will be including the Yuka scores for my base. If you're a health freak, you'll probably know what Yuka is. So I say the only bad thing I have that's not Will's high score would be this. It's pretty bad. It has pretty bad chemicals. This one's pretty decent. This one's pretty good. And this one's really, really good as well. Now that we went over the base, we're going to be going over how to choose the fragrances. So the fragrance has to match, the fragrance smell, the fragrance scent has to obviously match your base scent, what you're trying to go for. So your cologne basically is a guide of what you're trying to do. So let's say if it's a hot day, you want to go for something more fresh, tropical, or more fruity, sweet. Not sweet, but more fresh, what I'm trying to say. But if it's like a colder day, you want to go for something more warm, more sweet, more cozy. Really, your nose is really not that trained. You could look up the notes to help you out. But I will be giving y'all some examples that would match it. So if you do end up choosing this base, you could either choose the ones that I have. I will go from cheap to expensive, and I'll tell you what they match. So starting off would be Latafa Karma. This is about $30-$40. This is very sweet, cozy, vanilla, cinnamony. Kind of smells like a gingerbread house. So this will guide it more towards a gourmandish, intimate, colder day type vibe. Going on more to designer, y'all probably seen this one, Jean Paul Gaultier La Mel La Parfum. The vanilla in this, the cardamom and all that, it's sweet, but the cardamom and the cardamom makes it a little bit more elegant. So this would be used for like a going out at night, a little mysterious type vibe to it. Now, if you want to go really sweet, like really super, super sweet, to match with that sweetness and that creaminess to it, would be, I don't have the full bottle, I have the traveler size, but it would be the K. Ali Vanilla 28. It's a little bit more vanilla, a little bit more feminine, but you just gotta have that confidence to pull this off. So you would think that since the base is more sweet, creamy, and coconutty that it's mainly used for like colder days. But there's some fragrances out there that have that sweet and creaminess to it, but are also fresh. Example of that would be Chanel Home Sport, right? This is very creamy. Now it is a little bit citrusy, but the creaminess and the sweetness of it blends well with the base. As long as you have something that matches, as long as you have something that goes well with the base, well, that's what I mean with the cologne guides it somewhere else, because although it's a little bit citrusy, but it does have that sweetness from the tonka beans and the, what's it called? It has a sweetness from the vanilla and the tonka that matches well, or that goes well with the sweetness of the brown sugar and the coconut rice milk. So yeah, this was more suited for like if a daily scent. This is my signature scent. This is what I use for my signature. I use that base plus this. Next up is gonna be more of a, if it's really hot, you want something really fresh, really sweet, really tropical. This right here, Jean Paul Gaultier Lobo. The coconut matches really well with the coconut and overall everything I have there. This is more for hot summer days. Now this next one is my personal favorite that combines well with them. This is more for like intimate, going out at night, smelling really sweet, gourmandish, like really edible. Parfums de Molly Altair goes really well with the base, because this is very, this vanilla, the vanilla scent profile on this and all that, the sweetness of this, bro, it's just one that's been the most complimented. This is really expensive. Most people are not gonna get this just because it's $365, but if you get it at a discount, it's probably like $260. Sometimes it drops as low as $220. But you probably get a dupe. I think it's called Liquid Brun. If you're not trying to spend that much on this, but you do not need something expensive like this to smell really good. It does give you a it does give you aura points though, but other than that, it's not necessary. All right, this next one is the most expensive one, and it is Mind Games Mentor. But you would think, since this is really woody, it's kind of dirty. What the? This is what I mean by you gotta go smell in this store. Although it says, I don't know if you can read it, right there, it says it has boiled. If you read this, it says it has oud. If you read this line, you won't know that it's actually very sweet. Yes, it does have that woodiness to it, but you do pick up that caramel and that like coffee and amber. It does have, says that, and that amber smell to it, which makes it really sweet. If you combine that creaminess and that sweetness from the base, that brown sugar, that like rice milk and that coconut, it does remind you sort of like a latte or like a coffee, something like that. But the wood in it is what turns it more into like let's say like a more powerful, mysterious, exotic, like an elegant type vibe, like for like a special occasion. Now this one, I got it for I think like 450, almost 500 or something like that. Right, you don't have that much money to buy all those combinations, or you just don't want to simply fall into like over consumerism and just have a whole bunch of body washes for no reason, because you really don't need, all you need is one body wash. Either pick one body wash that you really like. Alright, for example, I really like this one. This is mainly the one I've been using. Alright, comment y'all's favorite combination down below.